remember, I am a type A minus personality, not a type A personality. So I don't need to beat your argument. That does not bother me.
Doesn't even register, huh?
It doesn't even register.
That's what argument losers always say.
Whatever.
Oh, I'm killing me.
Someone's got to. I mean, what?
Hey.
Wait. Oh, speaking of, so I know this was not the direction I wanted to go, but I started watching this new show. First of all, are you a fan of The Big Bang Theory, or were you a fan of The Big Bang Theory?
Mm-hmm.
So Kaylee Cuoco, she is in a new show. She's actually the executive producer of the new show. And it is on HBO Max, and it's called The Flight Attendant. And it's really interesting. I thought it would be fun for my wife and I to watch, and we got hooked. I'm not going to recommend it because the last time I recommended a show to John that I think is phenomenal, all I got was shit for it for the next month because he and his wife decided to watch it.
Which one?
Yellowstone.
I've only given you crap for a short period of time.
Yeah, at least a month.
Time, but
at least a month.
Too. I'll give her props for that.
Yeah. So anyway, Kaylee Cuoco plays a flight attendant, and I'm not giving away the story too much, but she plays a flight attendant who is a bit of a partier. She's a flat out drunk, and she goes
way
to
out of character for her.
Yeah, she goes to Thailand on one of her stewardess legs, meets a guy on the airplane, and ends up spending the night with him.
Did
Wakes
you
up.
Say stewardess legs.
Yes, I did. I did that on purpose to see if you'd catch up on.
Gosh, you would be smacked in the
all my flight attendant friends are probably cringing right now.
Kidding. They're turning over in their planes.
Oh, see, I'm just testing to see if you're awake this morning.
Oh, happily I am.
Yeah. Anyway, she plays a flight attendant, and she goes to Thailand, Bangkok, and ends up sleeping with this guy. Wakes up in the morning.
That was too easy.
I know.
It's just too easy.
I know.
Let it hang.
I am trying to set you up. I'm only on my second cup of coffee. I haven't even finished it yet.
Let it hang.
You're going to let it hang? Wow. You haven't had enough coffee this morning.
I've had plenty. I had an espresso this morning.
Oh, yeah. I kind of want one of those espresso machines. I probably would be murdered. Same topic here.
Yes.
Probably would be murdered if I asked for another coffee device in my house.
Because I'm the same way. Not only do we have the coffee, not quite to your level, but I strive for that. We have the coffee pot. We had a bun before, didn't like how it worked. So now we have a Cuisinart. We've had, 15 of them since we've been together. Then we have the Nespresso, which we bought after going to a too expensive shopping mall in Arizona.
Any shopping mall in Arizona is too expensive.
For sure. You're outside by Scottsdale, and we went in, and it's, everyone's talking like Thurston Howell from Gilligan's Island. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness, come and see the Nespresso. Please walk this way. And we walked over and looked at it. And of course, when you're in a shopping mall, in a store, Nespresso magically tastes incredible.
And
so this is so good. And I'm rubbing it on my chest.
Yeah.
And so we bought it. And of course they had a special. The frother was free. And anytime anyone says to you, hey, the frother is free, don't buy whatever they're selling.
Run.
Yes, exactly. And so we have that, and then we have a grinder, a burr grinder, because the standard grinder isn't good enough.
Right.
And those are all on the counter, to say nothing of the pour over stuff that I have up in the cabinet that's hidden way in back, because I only have one once every month, probably. So I'm sorry. Yes, you and I are in the same boat.
Yeah. So we have a Keurig downstairs, and that's my wife's Keurig. Now I will make it very clear that we had plenty of free Keurig machines, because when we first moved to Nashville, Jennifer demoed Keurig. Oh, she was one of those people at the mall trying to get you. So we got a bunch of those for free. But we have a Keurig machine downstairs. We have a Keurig machine at the studio. Mm-hmm. We have a Keurig. I have a single serve Keurig machine over here on top of my shelf, so I can have stuff up in my office. Mm-hmm. I've got an espresso machine with a frother.
Wow.
Steam frother.
Like one of the massive Italian ones?
It's not massive. No, it's not an Italian one, but it's, it stands about foot and a half tall,
Okay.
I guess, and
Got it.
about the same amount wide. It's a big square.
Nice.
It's a two serving espresso machine.
Okay.
And I've got my pour over, my
Mhm.
6-cup pour over, and then
Yep.
I've got 2 French presses, and then I've got an on the stove percolator, which you saw the
Yes.
video that I shared with
Yeah.
everyone. So that's what I've got.
Wow.
So an espresso machine, and the grinder that we have is an electric grinder, but of course I want the hand cranked grinder.
Oh, cut it out. Really?
I do. I don't know why. Well, I want to be able to take it with me so I can do my own coffee on the way. Speaking of, I was on Instagram, and I'll probably not be able to pull it up now. I was on Instagram this morning.
Yeah.
And there was an ad for a company. It's not going to pull up. There's an ad for a company that does pour overs. They actually make a pour over pod. So it looks like a Keurig pod, sort of, except it's open on one, and you set it on top of your coffee and do your pour over that way.
Oh.
And I was really excited about it, and it was on sale. It's normally $35, and it was on sale for $20 for the sample pack. And what you get in the sample pack is a new cup, and 6 of those packs. And I'm like, 6 of those, that $20 for that, that's a pretty good deal, until I realized, no, there's only 1 pod per pack. So you're only getting 6 cups of coffee and a cup for $20. And that's the sale. I'm like, as badly as I really want to try that, not worth $20.
Oh, I can't imagine. Oh my gosh.
But of course, is all that stuff that we have. I don't have any new beans right now, so I'm drinking Keurig. I go nuts. So the Keurig that we have, the Keurig pods that we have, they come from Taste, Tayst. And I chose them because this was during the pandemic, and we were getting everything delivered, but we were having trouble finding good coffee, or at least inexpensive coffee. And by no means is Taste inexpensive, but I'm on the 60 pod per month. They send you 60 pods per month. You get to choose whatever flavor you want. So it's medium, it's bold, it's whatever.
Yep.
And you can get flavored ones too, and decaf. The decaf is actually really good. So they send it to you, and this is one of those all organic, good natured coffee companies. So all of the pods are biodegradable, including the plastic. And all of the packaging is biodegradable and stuff like that. But you know what? I don't want to talk about that right now, because we have a very special guest that just popped on.
I only saw the top half of his head, but now I see his entire head.
Such a good-looking man.
That's
you saw the best part.
Well, I'm not going to say that, but Nick did just before you got here. Hi, Bill.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Good. Mr. Bill Taylor. So nice. Bill sent me a text, and I apologize, Bill, because I know I sent the smiley face back, but then you responded, how would you like me to talk about it? And I never responded to you. And I feel really bad. I was in a meeting, and then, it's what happens when you lose your hair. You lose all brain function.
You actually sent the emoticon that depicted laughter, so I thought you were laughing at me.
I was.
Oh,
but that's just me in general. I always laugh at, Anyway, you have a response. I'm sorry, John. I was completely cutting you off. What were you saying?
Forget it.
Never mind. I'm going to cut them off anyways.
I know you are. You're going to cut all of it
out. Yeah. Bill, you have an answer to our Potty Corner question.
I have several answers.
Several answers and a story, I think, right?
Yeah. So first of all, let's do a mic check. Hello, 1, 2, 3.
I can hear you fantastically.
Okay, thank you. So your question was run flat tires, yes or no, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or no.
Okay. So unfortunately, you already made the decision. So
I did, and I will be honest, it was a very poor decision.
Well, that's okay. And you could have called the vehicle nanny right there on the spot.
I should have. I didn't even think about it. I will from now on.
Or come to vehiclenanny.com for all your automotive needs.
Or all of them.
No. So anyway, I am not a fan of run flat tires. They are, by their definition, they provide a very stiff sidewall so that if it loses air, the construction of the tire will allow it to protect the rim, and so you can drive. Many times you can go up to 50 miles on one of these tires with no air.
Okay.
Which is fine depending on where you're at in the world, and assuming you haven't done something like hit a pothole where the sidewall is damaged.
Okay.
And so that's part of the story I'll get to in a moment. But on 2 vehicles already, I've replaced the run flat tires with non-run flat tires. And I've got a 3rd vehicle next month. I'm going to be doing the same thing. So these are all Mini Coopers, by the way, which
they come standard with run flats?
They do, because they don't, the whole intent of run flat tire for the most part is the OEM does not want to put a spare tire, right? Yeah. Between weight and cost and everything else. So it's nice for them, not so great for us. But again, if you lose air, let's say you get a little nail in the tire or something like that, and you're middle of nowhere, probably is not a bad thing. But I learned my first failure of a run flat tire. I was about an hour away from home, 11 o'clock at night, dead of winter, hit a pothole on the freeway, which is
wow,
here in Michigan.
Was that in Michigan? Oh my gosh!
I know.
I can't even fathom it. How did you find it?
It found me.
He was probably following you around for several miles.
Yeah, and of course in a very desolate area. So I pulled over, and of course the air pressure thing goes to 0 on this one tire. I'm like, okay, I guess it's flat. So I did drive on the shoulder because the exit was coming up, and I got off the shoulder, and I knew that tire was not performing like a run flat should. And sure enough, it just totally split the sidewall.
Oh no.
So luckily roadside assistance got me home, got the vehicle to the dealer, and the dealer was kind enough to charge me $300 for the tire, which
wow.
I could have gone to Discount Tire for $196, but hey, I like to patronize my local dealer. That's all good.
Wow.
That's see, so let's talk about that, go a bit further. My decision to get the run flats was because, like you said, the manufacturer did not put a spare in my trunk or anywhere. I use my trunk, so I can't put a tire in the trunk and just let it sit there. My trunk is almost always full, whether it's with golf clubs or suitcase. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I had a lot. I really truly do have a lot of junk in my trunk.
In the trunk. I knew it.
That's 2 cups of coffee right there. So that was my biggest concern. And I drive so much. I drive probably around 20 to 30,000, probably closer to 20,000 miles a year. And not during a pandemic. So I was concerned about that. And the price was not much different getting a spare kit from Mercedes and putting it in than it was to just get all 4 new tires. Right. My biggest complaint so far, though, is they just run so rough. And even the run flats I had on there before that were the manufacturer tires, I think those were, I need the dinger. You got the dinger, John?
Got it.
All right. Okay. They were, well, the new ones I got were Bridgestone. The old ones were, they're not Coopers. They're Continentals. The old ones are Continentals.
Okay.
Continentals, I thought Bridgestone, being a more expensive tire, and the way that they had marketed it and gave the information online, because I looked them up, I thought they would be the superior tire, and that I would have a much nicer ride than I would on the other ones. And no, they were not. The Continentals were actually smoother and quieter. But anyway, so I have them on there. They're running rough. I do have to get my rotors checked because I must have let it go too long because my rotors are bad and I'm still getting that shake. Nowhere near as bad, but I'm still getting it. Yep, exactly. Watching my little phone go when I hit the brakes.
Oh, no.
So, but anyway, that was my concern, was I just getting that spare, putting it in the trunk, having a place to put it, and the amount that I actually drive. So
that's fair.
I still don't know if it was the wrong decision necessarily, but I will tell you I'm extremely unhappy with them.
I just, and I think this is the opportunity you're missing, that if you would just equip your Mercedes like one of those rally vehicles and put the spare up on the roof. Because I'm sure they
deck lid.
No, I saw, the funny thing is I saw someone do that.
Yeah.
With a C300, they put a roof rack on and they had a spare tire on the top. And I don't know what they were doing. I'm like, who in this world would put a roof rack on a C300 with
but I will bet you $10 they didn't have run flat tires.
That's probably true. That's probably true. Wow. For those of you who can't see the video, Bill just raised his hand.
I've done some crazy stuff. I love that. I love making vehicles look different.
Yeah, I can see that. That's definitely. I mean, when I was coming home the other night from being away from home, I saw someone actually driving one of the new Gladiators.
Okay.
And this thing was decked out. It had the tanks on the side, and it had a cage on the top, and it had a bunch of camping gear on. I mean, it was decked out. Of course, it was clean, which this person hasn't taken it off road yet.
Correct.
Nothing was dirty, and not even the cans. So, but yeah, I can understand. I could see that. I know a lot of people that would do that. I'm one of those stay under the radar type of people, though.
Yeah,
I can see that too. So one other thing I do recall from last week's podcast, you mentioned the Fix-A-Flat
Yes.
component, and your tire guy did steer you correctly on that, because those, look, I'm no expert on it, but I've heard the same stories. That there's something within that, in addition to it sloshing around and finding the hole and hopefully plugging it. There's a refrigerant or some kind of accelerant in there that if it mixes with the water, it can actually dissolve part of the tire.
Oh, wow.
And they say that if you use it, you should probably replace the tire, because you will have caused internal damage. And more than likely, if you've got a tire pressure monitoring sensor in your tire, it'll gum that up too. So you're going to be buying about a $50, $60 sensor plus a new tire. So unless you are like in the middle of nowhere and that's the only way you can get rolling, I wouldn't use it. Do what I did, get AAA.
Yeah. Which I have.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. Ding, ding.
I was going to, but they're not a sponsor. So, here's the way I look at it. I have not had, and I'm sure I'm
the minute he said, exactly.
But I really have not had any tire problems in years, and anything that we've had is just a minor thing that we can either. Now, that said, a buddy blew out a trailer tire as we were going down the interstate, and that was, did damage to the trailer, and we got lucky and found a place that was able to replace it at the first exit. But other than that, on my own vehicles, I've had no trouble, and I have roadside assistance too, so that would be my first call.
Yeah, that was my last point I wanted to make, was that it's pretty rare to have a flat anymore.
Especially these days. The tires are so much better. The old bias tires, Bill, they were terrible.
Oh,
and you needed to have a spare.
Yeah, probably two.
Two. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, unless you drive around in Michigan with these potholes, these tires can take quite a beating. They really can.
They absolutely
next, I think the next time I do it, I'm gonna definitely gonna go with the regular. Yeah, I'm gonna call you first of all.
I am a tire geek. I mean, as far as I love buying tires. Okay, and I don't know why. It's just something I love a fresh set of tires. It's not that I know a whole lot about them. I know enough to be dangerous, but I have a great relationship with the tire guy, and they come in like, "Hey, which car are we doing today?" It's like, great.
Mine are all new, so I'm going to replace my neighbor's tires.
That's right.
He's going to be surprised when he gets back from vacation.
Nice.
Honey, do we have white walls? I don't remember white walls.
So one thing I didn't purchase, and this would be, I'd be curious, since you are the tire professional here. They have a warranty on the tires that if something happens, they would replace it for free. I didn't do that. Was that probably smart, or was that stupid? Because most time they offer insurance. It always goes away before anything ever breaks, anyways.
Depends on how you drive. You're on the road a lot, I know, with your job. I do it. I guess I don't want to say the name of the place I go to, but I really have a lot of faith in them. And I think it's like $20 a tire. They call it a tire certificate. But anything happens, potholes, you name it, they'll replace the tire. And they are phenomenal about doing that. And it's probably the best insurance I've ever paid for in my life. In your life. So I still have about 20 days before I lose the ability to get it. So maybe I'll go back and get it. So what you're telling me, Bill, is I did everything wrong. No. Because I do think, since you are on the road so much, you're probably, like, if you're going through a Paducah, Kentucky or something like that, you're probably not near a place, you
I'm going there Monday.
Are you really?
I am going there Monday.
There was a dealer I used to call on that was there. I won't tell you the brand, but this was back in the late 80s. I had called him to introduce myself, and he's like, because I was a service guy, he's like, Bill, I gotta ask you something. Do I have to service other dealers' cars? I'm like, this is like 1989. I'm like, yeah, yeah, you do. And then he wrote me a letter about it, and his stationery was the Spirit of 76. So you can tell where his mind was at.
Wow,
this guy was
yeah. Oh my gosh.
He was living in the past. Back when they didn't want to service anybody except their own customers.
Wow. Well, you kind of paused before you said, you said it. Do I have to service my other dealers' cars?
Oh, customers.
I thought you could say wives, and I was not sure if that was a rule.
Hey, Nick, can you edit that part out? That didn't come out right.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that's going to be.
Yes, I can. I'm not going to, but yes, I can.
I wasn't prepared for today.
You were too. You're always prepared.
Well, I appreciate the last minute. So what happened, everybody, is as John and I were starting, I was reading through my text messages. Let me rephrase. As I was waiting for John, I was going through my text messages, and I'm like, oh, this would be great. So I texted Bill really quick while we were starting and said, hey, do you have a minute to pop on and give us your feedback? And he was gracious enough to do so. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I'm always there for you guys.
You are such an awesome man, Bill Taylor.
So you got anything new, anything fun and exciting happening that you want to share with us?
What's going on with Vehicle Nanny, and tell us what's going on in your,
because you've got a lot of stuff going on.
I do have a lot of stuff. So I opened up a merchandise store with the intent, and actually this is actually happening. I entered into a partnership with Haggerty Insurance.
Oh, okay. No kidding.
They're the collector car insurance.
Yeah. Right.
And I'll call it a partnership. They may not call it that yet because I'm going to be giving them money and they're going to be receiving it.
Hey, that's the only type of partnership I know.
Wow,
I know. So, one of the things, Vehicle Nanny was all about trying to keep the car hobby alive, get young people involved. I told you guys the story about young AJ and his Fiero.
Yeah.
I want to do more. And Haggerty was the only organization I could find that actually has an automotive youth program, and they do things, educational things. They have a thing called Test Garage, where they'll bring in experts from the industry, and these teens and young adults will come to these workshops and they'll learn about different automotive careers, different functions of the car. They'll teach these kids how to drive a stick on a classic car, things of that nature. So that was right up my alley. So I thought, this is one more way I can support the hobby, support the interest in cars, which has served me well my whole life. And so if you buy some Vehicle Nanny merchandise, all the profits go to these youth programs.
Nice.
That's awesome. So we'll put another link up on our website, including, so we've got the Vehicle Nanny link on our website, but we'll also add the link to that from your site, if you don't mind. And anyone that's interested, that's interested, go buy some merch. So
hey, you can get fanny packs. You can get a hoodie for your dog.
John, I'm buying you a fanny pack for Christmas.
Can I just say, Nick, the last thing you need is another fanny pack. He
wears them
where it literally covers his fanny. It's all around his waist.
I have a lot of junk in my trunk. We already talked about that.
We do not go.
That's why I won't bring these stories full circle.
Around his waist. I won't go to dinner with him anymore because it's like he has little sausages in there. He'll eat them while we're at the bar. It's really a little embarrassing.
Well, I need to bring food from home because you just don't trust. You can't trust what the chef puts in his food.
Especially it's a filet mignon. No, I'd rather have fanny pack sausages. Thanks.
Well, they say it's
grass fed. How do you know? At all.
Hey, it's Nick doing it, not me. I would maybe have cheese and crackers, but he has fanny pack sausages.
Well, I do have some brie in the fanny pack. It gets warm pretty quickly. It's kind of melty.
When you guys play this back next week and listen to it, you're going to really regret saying the things you just did.
I regret saying everything every week, Bill. It hasn't stopped us in 2 years.
So what is today's topic, gentlemen? What did I miss out on in your intro?
Well, we were talking about coffee and coffee makers. So John has a plethora, and I have a plethorasaurus of coffee makers, and we are just waiting for our wives because he was talking about the nice Nespresso he had this morning.
Oh.
And I said, I would love to get an espresso machine, but I think if I brought another coffee machine home, I would probably end up murdered.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I got a lot.
Are you a coffee aficionado, Bill? I don't know if we've discussed that.
I do enjoy. I mean, I drink a lot of coffee, so I don't know if that makes you an aficionado because I'll just whatever comes in. If it's Dunkin' Donuts, Tim Hortons, or whatever.
Timmy.
I forgot that you and I have this connection in our history, Bill. That
what?
Well, do you remember the studios in Warren?
Oh my God!
Did you ever have coffee there? That you can recall?
If I did, it was not memorable. If I did,
well, it's not. It was totally unremarkable. And I've seen them. I had seen them make it many times when I was in there. It was a can of Maxwell House.
Yeah,
and
probably.
Who knows how many grubby hands who had been in there. And the Warren water was horrific at that particular location. So I don't know if it wasn't filtered well or it was. You could never just drink the water out of the water fountain because
that's gross.
it was so bad. But in the coffee, it was covered up.
Is that the same facility where they had the all the tech training as well, vehicle tech training? So it's probably that water is probably runoff from some of the vehicles they've serviced.
I think it was a gray tank is what it came from. So, it was
just disgusting, guys. So, but that's a good question. That's a path that we can go on for the Keurig, because one of the machines that we have, Bill, is a Keurig downstairs. It's a fancier Keurig, so it has a built-in water filter, but what the water we fill it with is filtered water. So I go and I go one filter out of the tap, and then I pour it into the Keurig and it refilters again. Do you guys go to that extreme? Because I think water is one of the most important things. I mean, even if you're talking about bourbon, most of the really famous distilleries talk about the water that they use.
Yes,
even Jack Daniels down here. I mean, that's the big deal. They've even got a statue of Jack Daniels sitting in the middle of their underground spring where they get all the water for their bourbon.
I would believe that would be true. I have never double filtered my coffee water, though.
I'm a little ridiculous.
I regularly engage in
now. I want to.
Yeah, DFCF double filtered coffee filtration is probably one of the things that I would recommend.
Yeah,
an aficionado.
I will admit that when I do the pour over, sometimes I don't do the double filter. I only do a single filter, only because the single filter is cold water and it takes that much longer to heat the water on the stove. And
you're obviously in a big hurry
I'm in a big hurry if I'm doing a pour over. Exactly. Yeah.
Come on.
No, I do it because I can taste the chlorine out of the tap.
Really?
Yeah, and it's sometimes, especially when they treat the water, you can even smell it when it's coming out.
Yeah,
and it does not make for good coffee.
No, I agree. I'm a big charcoal filter guy for water. Yeah, and we just use a Brita, but we have a whole house filter too. But it seems to do the trick. The only thing about the Brita is I'm impatient when you have to pour it and wait for it. Come on, I'm like you waiting for the water to get boiling, and but it works great because I really think the charcoal filtration, it's great for getting rid of chlorine taste.
Yes,
John.
But we had one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was at your age, you should be used to that slow flow.
Wow, Bill. That is so unfair. Accurate, but unfair. And
I think I might be a tad older than you, so.
You are just a tad. It might be like a week, but you have aged much better, much like a nice bourbon that Nick was describing.
Oh, yes.
We had a zero water filter. Have you heard of them?
I have.
And they always, it's 0.0 microns of blah, 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 whatever it is. True story. And I have seen some reviews that state this too. We used it for a month and the water started smelling like fish.
Interesting.
True story. And I'm not saying it out of school. would gladly get. I mean, we went through 3 filters in a month and a half, and they would all get to a certain point. It would smell like, you would lift the top off and go, oh, it smells like fish.
Huh.
And so that's why we
did you ever find out why? Did you ask our friend
No,
Google?
but there were several people who said the same thing in reviews.
Wow.
Online, which, yeah. So sorry, Zero Water, but you can send us one if you would like, and we will be glad to revisit that. But all the filters we had, that's what happened.
That's not good.
Well, unless you like the taste of fish, which personally,
I mean, I do, but not all fish.
Not in
the
water.
smell.
Not in my water.
Not in my water, exactly.
Fish water. Hey, honey, let's put this in the aquarium.
I mean, I spend so much time filtering out the fish poop and the pee from the water anyways. Never mind.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thanks.
you're welcome.
Yeah, I just had a great brainstorm as far as a brand for that filter, fish out of water.
Ooh, I like it.
Nice.
I like it.
We need to start trademarking some of these things. We're going to be uber rich.
Well, or make other people uber rich. That's always possible.
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing.
I think we are.
That's what I was always about, helping others.
Yeah. Well, that's a Zig Ziglar thing. That's when you've become successful, when you help other people get what they want.
That's successful. We're talking about rich. There's a difference. There's a big difference.
I don't think there is so much.
I know plenty of rich people that are not successful.
Do you know? It depends what they're striving to be.
Right.
If they're striving to be rich, well, then ding, ding, they won.
Yep. Bill, I have to show you this if I can find it.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought it was going to be something else.
While you're looking for that, Nick, I had sent you 2 gentlemen each a coffee this week.
Oh,
I saw that. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Bill.
So
How
here's
nice
the
of
deal,
you.
though. I'm no longer doing a monthly contribution through Patreon. I'm going to be buying you guys coffee only when I like the podcast. So it's incentive based now.
So are you going to send us double for this one because you're on it?
Probably.
How much is a pot of coffee?
How much is a pot of coffee? Can I just buy you guys a new coffee maker and be done with it?
Oh boy. No, please don't, because I again will be out of this house so quickly. So my uncle, I think we talked about him last time. He was the one with the bucket roadster.
Yeah.
So he sold that and he bought 2 other cars with it. And one of them I don't know if I can say happily admit or sadly admit was my dream car when I was like 8 or 9 years old. Maybe 10, but this is the one. It is obviously it's a convertible Mustang.
Yes.
Now it's not. Why is it not?
Why would the top go up? Is that what you're saying? No.
Yeah. So he has this, and he said it was the person garaged it. Nothing has been done to this car.
Wow. That's original.
Yeah, that's all original. It's a 5.0.
What year?
I loved this car when I was a kid.
What year?
So that I think it's an 89.
Probably.
Was it
garaged with that top down?
I have no idea.
Because you'll never get it back in place.
We'll never get it back up, yeah.
Not if it's been sitting there for that long.
And that is his new bucket.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Very zoomy.
Yeah.
It is zoomy. That's great. Probably not so much in the rain.
Probably not. And these aren't going to move for probably another 6 months because remember, it's Minneapolis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. Well,
they'll probably go out there, open the door, start them up, let them run for a few minutes, and then shut them down.
If they tried to move it, it wouldn't move because, ice.
Yeah. Because it's cold.
So it's an interesting topic. One of your idyllic cars that you would have wanted to own back when you were a kid, Bill,
is one of the most ugly Mustangs ever. I know. I really think it's an ugly Mustang.
I think it's not probe-like.
That's true. That's true. I had a girlfriend once that had a probe. I actually had a lot of fun in that car.
I would have
driving it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what the shifter looks like. Anyway, Bill.
Oh boy.
Could you tell? Yeah, let's just leave it alone. Could you
please
talk about maybe when you were in 10 to 12-ish area, prepubescent guy? What was one of your? Sorry.
Well, before you go, Bill, I want to add it was the 5.0 Mustang.
Yes.
I loved the Camaro at the same year range, and of course the Jeep Wrangler. Even though I didn't like the square lights, I still liked the Jeep Wrangler. So those were my three back then.
Oh, you had three. Okay, very good.
That Mustang, that generation Mustang, though, there are a lot of go-fast parts available for it, even today, and very easy to modify, and you could do a lot of cool things to it. So I'll give them props for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm my aunt. Granted, it's my aunt, not my uncle, but my aunt said that Mustang is in the will for me. So I might get my dream car.
So are you
20 years from now
hoping that your uncle
no
liked it? Is that
no, not at all. But 20 years from now, maybe.
That's when you're going to start hoping for it, or
yeah, it's about the time. That's when he'll be old enough to.
Very nice. That's good.
If he makes it another 20 years, he's going to be very, very wealtly.
Make sure you replaces that convertible top before you take that car.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to have to do that first thing. All right, Bill, what were yours?
Yep.
At what age? 12?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's say 10, 12.
You can remember.
Or when you actually started liking cars.
Or you could actually drive, I guess is kind of the interesting part.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we probably covered some of this way back like a year or so ago. I grew up in a car family. My dad was an engineer, so at a very, very early age, it was about trucks, because he was a truck engineer and he did the development work on the original Blazer in 1969. So Blazers were my thing for the longest time. But as I started approaching driving age, Chevy came back with the Camaro Z28 because they'd taken a 3-year hiatus. And ironically, I've got a stack of pictures here that I just pulled out of a box.
Wow. Cool.
So in 1979, I coaxed my mom into buying this 79 Camaro Z28.
Wow.
And that's me in the car. And this is in 1979.
So this was, she bought it for herself or she bought it for you?
Well, here was the thing. I was working at a Burger King at the time and saved crazy money. I had enough to pay for 1/4 of this car.
Wow.
So she was going to buy a Chevette, and whatever I contributed was enough to upgrade her to this. And this had a stick. So mom was driving 2 miles every day to the bank while I was going nuts, right? So when I go off to college, and I'd call her every day. Did you wash the car? Did you wash the car? After about a year, she said, no, but I am going to get rid of that car. So,
no.
But this is where the story gets better. So
I
sold it to a guy in 1981, 2 years later. He had 22,000 miles on it. He still owns it to this day.
Really?
Wow.
15 years ago, I tracked him down. The wife answered the call. I explained why I was calling. She goes, you're not going to talk to him because you're going to try to buy it back. And I said, no. I just want to see the car. It's about an hour away from here.
Yeah.
I go, at least tell me something about it. She goes, well, how many miles did it have on it when you sold it? I said, 22. She goes, well, it's got 25 on it now.
Wow.
So I'm just like, I want to reach to the phone and say, please, where do you live? Right. And
I don't want it. No, really, I don't.
We're saving it for the boys. You can't have it. And I'm like, I just want to see it. I said, I have got the original build sheet. I mean, I had all this documentation from it. I said, wow. I'm trying to think, that's got to be my ticket to get in, right?
Right.
Nope. And we have a mutual friend, and he stays in touch with them. He's like, hey, I think he's going to sell it. I'm like, I'm there. So,
that's incredible.
To this day, I mean, I'm still lusting after this car. I dream about this car.
Okay, that's only a little creepy, but
that is a little bit creepy. Yeah, oh, here's another picture.
Cool. Well,
nice,
nice,
cool looking car.
I feel that same way about my stepfather's airplane, so I understand that sentiment.
Ooh, the inside. Ooh,
wow, well, that's a funky steering wheel.
And 5-speed or 4-speed back then?
That was a 4-speed.
4-speed. Yep. Cool.
Yep. So anyway, you guys got another big story out of me with that
well,
question.
I can
But
picture you, Bill. I can picture you talking to the lady on the phone. She said, "We're saving it for the boys," and you say, "Those kids will never stay out of prison." You know that. You kind of spin it, I think.
well, here's my bigger problem: is I found them all on Instagram, and I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of this car in there anywhere, and I can't. And the boys are grown up now, and they're I think out of school and everything else. And I see them taking pictures in front of their VW Jetta and everything else. I'm thinking they didn't want that Camaro. It's gotta be for sale.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. Oh,
In front of their
God.
Jetta. That's
Well,
hilarious.
good luck
We
with
need
that.
a ding.
Can't wait
We need
for
it.
an update on that.
He said Jetta. We need a ding. There you go.
Sorry.
Not a sponsor.
I'm not listening for sponsors. No, not a sponsor. But you know what? All they'd have to do is write us a check, sign, and then drive away.
There you go.
Sign and drive.
Wow. Wow, John. All right, John, what about you?
Drive. You know what? I think I was influenced by
The Tornado.
some friends I knew that had kind of hopped up cars. My favorite when I was in my younger teens was a 66 Chevy 2. And a friend of mine had one, and 4-speed, and man, that thing was fast and cool looking. And I had another friend who had a 65 Impala, and it was an SS convertible. And it was just a cool looking car. And I would have loved to have either one of those. I got really close with my 69 LeSabre 4-door, which was my parents' car that I inherited. But it was still it was a big boat. You have to you'd have to take it around the square to turn it around, and people would regularly stop me and ask which end of the cement came out.
Speaking of big boats, what was one of the more popular, because I can't remember the name of it, one of the more popular, I think it was Oldsmobile, station wagons from the late 70s.
The custom cruiser.
Okay, not that. Nope, different name. I'm looking for a specific name because I can't remember it.
Well, Cutlass Cruiser was the other one. The Custom was the big one.
No.
The Cutlass was the smaller one.
Okay, no, this was a big one. The reason so my stepdad had 4 kids. Okay. All 4 kids had to share the same car, and it was this massive station wagon, and they all have great stories and great memories from this car.
Another one, Bill, that you can think of?
I can't at the moment.
I mean, it could have been was it like a Delta 88 Royale sort of?
It wasn't a Vista. We said Vista Cruiser already.
Vista Cruiser. Nope, Vista Cruiser. That was what it was.
Okay.
That wasn't. Yeah, that's that was did they have the glass inserts along the raised line?
Yes.
I thought so. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Weird. That's awesome. Good job.
My only other car that I may put in that category, but I don't think I really started liking them until after I was driving already. I would have to put a late 60s Porsche 911 or a Porsche 356.
Oh yeah.
Those are my two.
Yeah, I had
a money stuff.
Ferrari 308. Yeah, I couldn't find one. I didn't realize we could. Oh, this is unlimited. Well, I was looking at a Bentley back when I was 13.
I love those cars. Those were
they're beautiful. They're timeless. I mean, they are awesome looking cars.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Doc Holliday was the movie I watched that introduced me to the 356, and I from that point on I was in love.
Even the replica cars of those are expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, exactly. It's like Shelby's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The replicas are even stupid expensive.
I know. Yeah.
Are you a fan? Do you get the bring a trailer emails?
Oh, yeah.
That's so much fun. That's so addicting. I actually had to stop during the week when I get them. I just delete them because I can't even. Because it's go to I think it's bringatrailer.com.
It is.
And you can sign up for their newsletter, and they'll send you people that are selling all of their, mostly it's classic cars, but not always. Sometimes they're some more modern cars. And you'll see people that are auctioning off their cars all over the place. Okay. And it will take you down a very deep rabbit hole.
Oh boy. Yeah. It's amazing. The dollars they get pulled into that, but There's another one I found, Nick, that I think it's newer. I don't know much of the history, but the cars seem a little bit more attainable. It's cars and bids.
Cars and bids. Yep, that came up.
Okay.
All right. Oh yeah. Wow.
Right. Thanks,
Hey.
guys. This is going to be.
Yeah, this is. I guess I know what I'm doing for the rest of the day.
Extraordinarily happy with me.
Yeah, you're gonna be. Lisa's gonna be just in heaven. Ooh, there's a 2006 Lotus for $24,000.
Oh, and then there's the other one, of course, barnfinds.com.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, barn finds. That's a good one too.
That's a good
Are those even barn finds anymore?
no,
Probably not.
I think it's evolved into, kind of like Bring a Trailer. It wasn't Bring a Trailer originally kind of like Project Cars? You come get a trailer and tow it home.
Yep, and they still have a few on there.
And now it's just they're so nice you don't drive the cars. You
Look,
you
look,
bring a
was-
trailer.
look at the first thing that pulled up.
Like, oh yeah.
Look at that.
Jeez.
There you go, Nick. Live your dream.
Yeah,
Do it.
that's definitely a project car though, and I am not. I'd have to give that one to someone like the vehicle nanny to restore for me.
Yeah,
Huh, cool.
That's a really good idea. Hey, Bill. So when you turn 80, which let's say is going to be many years from now, are you going to change like to vehicle granny? You thought about that?
I had not thought that fully
I
through.
just want you to look into the future because you're obviously going to be around for a long time. And
Keep in mind, the vehicle nanny was the alternative to the toy warehouse.
oh, yeah, you're going to have some interesting search companions.
Yeah.
Why do you keep searching for that? Look at my history.
I have something I want to say, but I'm going to offend half of your audience.
Half you're
So-
not going to. So
But don't worry, that's just one person.
Okay.
Oh, that even made John freeze. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
that was awesome.
Chili. Ooh. Wow.
Oh, that's great. That is great. I've been staring at the VW. Is that no? It's a Ford truck.
No, it's a
Or
Chevy.
Ford, what is it? A Chevy? I'm sorry. I should be struck down. I love that. Was it a metal cutout?
It is.
It looks like
That's
one of
very,
those
very cool.
cab overs. Is that what
It
it
was
is?
that's probably a 68, 67, 68 Chevy G10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's very
But it
cool.
was
I've seen.
wasn't the engine like within the cab?
Yeah, right between the passenger and the driver.
Gosh, yeah, really easy to get at.
Well, let's just say that while you're driving, you could be changing your oil.
Oh yeah, and feeling the heat. If you ever wanted to get your calves sort of tanned, you could roll up your pants and just hold it right next to that.
See, you guys are joking, but that makes it easy to cook while you're driving. With the
Oh,
Jeep,
trust me.
they have the cookbooks for the Jeep engine cooking.
Yeah.
But there you still had to pull off to the side of the road, pop up in the hood so you could start cooking. There you could just keep driving down the road and start cooking your fish.
They just say, honey, it looks like the burgers are done.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and plus, if you did it right, you could like do pasta through the fan belt. There has to be some sort of a connector that would,
I'm sure.
Imagine the strainer you could build into that. Maybe use the air filter as a strainer.
I like the way your mind works, Bill. Yeah.
This is the next level of all the food trucks out there.
Auto mechanic / chef.
Well, guys, on that note, I think it's time to say goodbye for this week.
It is. Bill, we are so happy to have you with us.
So happy.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the impromptu invite, and I'm glad that you caught me while I was available.
Well,
yeah, that was luck.
Days. You're often buying new tires and
sweeping the floor. I don't know.
Honey, we need more cat litter. God, stop calling it cat litter.
What?
It's the oil stuff. What's the
okay.
It looks like cat.
We have cats, so I didn't know if you knew something.
I might.
Wow, good job, John.
That's a lucky guess.
But anyway, head up to Vehicle Nanny and get over to their merch store, which we will link to our website as well, so we can help out the what was the name of the insurance company again?
It's Haggerty.
Haggerty Insurance, and help the youth get interested in classic cars. I love that idea. I think that's a fantastic idea. Head up to our website if you want to hear this episode. Well, hopefully you're already listening to this episode. But if you want to hear past episodes or leave a comment on this episode, that's where I was trying to go with that. Head up to the website, PoddiMouths.com. You'll also be able to link to our social media right from there. Leave a comment. Please, if you get a chance, like and subscribe if you haven't to our podcast on your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube, because these do go up on YouTube if you prefer to watch them there. Yep. Give us some feedback, and don't forget to give us our next Poddy Corner topic, because we would love to hear from you, and maybe we'll send you an impromptu text message and say, hey, you want to jump on real quick?
Get your butt over here.
But guys, it's been real. It's been fun. But I have to say, this one has been real fun.
Yay.
Yeah, it has. It's about time. Thanks, Bill.
Hey, you guys need a little freshening up, I guess.
Wow. I showered yesterday.
I did. I was 5 minutes late because I was jumping out of the shower. Literally jumping.
Wow.
Don't do that. You'll fall.
Yeah,
we've got really good mats on the floor with my fanny pack. I take that fanny pack everywhere. All right, guys. we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, gentlemen.
See ya.
Goodbye.